here again with Bre'sBooks to do the reader problems tagged. I was tagged by April Sarah, so thank you so much, April. I am very excited to do this tag. It was created by About to Read. I believe I will link both their videos in the description as is per the usual. Question 1, you have 20,000 books on your TBR. How in the world do you decide what to read next? I used to not do TBRs, and I used to just read whatever I felt like reading when I looked at my bookshelf. And then over the last couple months on BookTube, I've tried to give myself TBRs so I could get some new releases and some older releases and some ARC pre-releases read, like a mixture of those read in over the course of a month. But that's not really working super well for me either. It's kind of pressuring me to read things, and when I get pressured, then I don't want to read that anymore. I'm going to start next month by just wherever the bookish wind takes me, as it were. Question 2, you're halfway through a book and you're just not loving it. Do you quit or are you committed? It has to be really, really bad for me to DNF a book. I am a finisher. I'm a completist. If I start something, and especially if I've spent half the book waiting for it to get better, I'm not, if I didn't finish it, I feel like the first half would have been wasted. So yeah, it'd have to be I really, really didn't like it. And if that was the case, it would probably be before halfway through that I would put it down and DNF it. But if I'm halfway through and not liking it, if it's at that point, then I will probably just push myself through to finish it, because usually even if I don't like the book, I still want to know what happens to the characters. That's kind of my curse. Question 3, the end of the year is coming and you're so close but so far away in your Goodreads reading challenge. Do you try to catch up, and how? This depends. I don't put a lot of pressure on myself for my Goodreads challenge, and usually my Goodreads challenge is a pretty reasonable number for me to complete. I guess if I was just 5 books away or something and I still had a week or 2 left of the year, I would try to finish it up by reading graphic novels or children's books or something. I think it was last year or the year before I missed my goal by 1 book. I was 1 book short from meeting my goal, and I was kind of bummed about that, but it's just Goodreads. It's just a personal goal. People aren't gonna hold you accountable for you didn't finish your Goodreads. At least they shouldn't. If they do that, they're not your friends. Come see me. I will be your friend and be like, it's okay. It's okay. You can try next year. It'll all be all right. Number 4, the covers of a series you love do not match. How do you cope? Usually I just deal with it. If I have different covers, hardbacks, paperbacks, I'll deal. I just buy the cheap versions of books after they've been out for 5 years, so I'm not gonna complain. I'm not gonna pay more to get matching covers or the right format, either paperback or hardback, so that they're all perfectly the same. No, it's not worth the money to me. It's not worth the time to track down all the same covers and whatnot, so I just deal. Number 5, everyone and their mother loves a book you really don't like. Who do you bond with over shared feelings? Last fall-ish, I think, when I started watching BookTube, everybody was talking about The Ocean at the End of the Lane by Neil Gaiman. And everybody was saying how great it was, how it was a modern-day fairy tale, and I should read it because it was awesome and I would love it. So, okay. So I finally checked it out of the library, right? And I read it. And it was good. The writing was good, but I didn't enjoy it. I didn't like the book overall. And it was pretty short. It's only this thick, but it felt like it took me forever to get through. I don't know. Yeah, so pretty much everybody loves that book. I didn't like it. But it's a big internet. There is always at least one person that will have your same opinion, or at least a close enough opinion that you can discuss similar feels. Yeah, the likelihood is very high. You will find someone. Even if you think everyone loves it, no, there's always somebody that doesn't like something. Trust me. Question 6, you're reading a book and you're about to start crying in public. How do you deal? Okay, so I don't remember a time ever when I've cried reading a book. I'm sure it's happened a couple or a few times, but not enough for me to remember it. I would say if that were to happen, I would probably just try to get away from the public view. If a book was making me tear up, I would probably just try to get away. Like go to the bathroom or go into a corner or something where there wasn't as many people around and let it out, and then come back after I clean myself up. I could see myself doing that. I'm a naturally shy person, so I don't like to be like very expressive or outward with my feelings when I don't know people. So yeah, that's probably what would happen. Number 7 is a sequel of a book you loved. It just came out, but you've forgotten a lot from the prior novel. Will you reread the book, skip the sequel, try to find a synopsis, cry in frustration? What do you do? A good example of this I got from the library, Unmade by Sarah Rees Brennan. This is the 3rd book in the Lynburn Legacy trilogy, which I really enjoy. I've read the first 2. Need to pick up this one, but it's been so long since I've read the second one that I need a refresher. So what I think I'm going to do, because I think this will work, is just read like the last couple chapters of the second book before I read this, and I think that'll be a good segue to just like refresh and then go back into this. Number 8, you do not want anyone borrowing your books. How do you politely tell people nope when they ask? Okay, so luckily or unluckily, there's 2 sides of this coin. I don't have many physical friends that love reading, at least not the type of books I like to read. I don't have that problem very often. I do let my sister borrow books. She's not a huge reader, but if I recommend something I think she'll be interested in, I am okay with her borrowing it. She knows like I'm uber protective of my books though, so she usually takes really good care of them. If somebody I didn't trust asked to borrow a book, I would say, I'm sorry, I'm afraid you would not take care of it well enough for me, so I'm sorry. There's a great library down the street. You can go there, get your fill. Question 9, reading ADD. You've picked up and put down 5 books in the last month. How do you get over your reading slump? I don't usually pick up and put down books like that. If I'm going to read them at all, I'm going to pretty much read them all the way through. There have been a few exceptions to that, but pretty much that's my standard. Once I picked it up, I'm going to push myself through it, even if it takes me longer because I'm not interested or whatever. Once I've started it, I hate leaving a bookmark in a book for a lengthy amount of time. I don't like my bookmarks not being in their bookmark place up here where all my bookmarks go. Because then I lose them and then I don't know where my bookmarks are because they're in like 5 different books. Sometimes it helps if I take a break, do something else besides read, something I am feeling like doing at that time. I like doing jigsaw puzzles. I like watching anime and movies, Netflix. I do something different like that. It usually gives my mind a little bit of break, and then I'm gonna feel like reading sooner than if I just force myself to read hour after hour after hour. It also helps to read shorter books between longer books so that you feel like you're getting more accomplished. Just keep trying. Just keep trying books. Even if it's 1 book a month, 1 book every 3 months, a year, just keep trying it. You will eventually find something that you love, I promise. It will come back to you. The passion will come back. Question number 10. There are so many new books coming out that you're dying to read. How many do you actually buy? This is pretty easy because I never buy new releases. They're way too expensive. They're like $20 each for hardback, and I am not willing to pay that price ever. I'm going to wait till it comes to the library book sales, the used bookstores, the garage stores and thrift stores, and I will wait patiently, especially when you have as many unread books as I do. I'm not in any hurry. There's plenty of good books I have on my shelf already that I can read and love and enjoy. So as tempting as all those beautiful new hardback releases are, I can wait. And the last one, question 11. After you've bought the new books you can't wait to get to, how long do they sit on your shelf before you get to them? I'm really bad at this. This is probably my worst reader problem out of these questions. Probably at least a month. especially if I check out library books, because that just ruins everything. I have a really bad habit of buying books and I'm like really excited about them, but there's other books that I bought before that I feel like I have to read. I'm like always behind. It's BookTube's fault. I used to have just one shelf and all my books fit on it, and then my room exploded. That's it for this book tag. Thank you again so much, April Sarah, for tagging me in this video. And I'm gonna have to edit this down a lot because it's super long. But anyways, have a wonderful day. I will see you next time. Bye-bye.